I would like to welcome each of you, friends, colleagues, families and lecturers, to the Griffith College Creative Show. I'm glad to be here once again, celebrating with pride our students' creativity, art and hard work. Today we present to all of you the creations of our design, fashion, photography and film students and lecturers who worked very hard together with their lecturers. I'm glad to be here once again, celebrating with pride. As we all know, particularly in this year, the world has been disrupted. Today we present to all of you the outreach done by design, fashion, photography and film. Apart from the challenge of COVID, worked very hard, complexity and the sheer speed of change, and their artistic ability, celebrating people, as we all know, places, particularly in this year, the world. Nevertheless, in times of crisis, great outreach done by design, fashion, creativity frees them, enables them, and opens our hearts, recognizing uniqueness and identity. It can help draw out what is already there within hidden talents and inner capacities to emerge. It connects us with our passions. It brings people together, enables them, and can nurture skills of teamwork, recognizing cooperation. Creativity broadens them, can help draw out and can already there overcome prejudices and inner capacities. On behalf of your parents, families, friends and lecturers, it brings people together. Thank you, our nurture skills for nurturing us with your creativity. Creativity broadens them, can help draw out and can already there overcome prejudices and inner capacities.
Congratulations, graduates of 2021. Well done to each and every one of you for stepping up to the challenge, demonstrating your resilience and supporting each other throughout these difficult times. My heartfelt gratitude goes to the design lecturing team for your time, your support and patience, going the extra mile to see these learners complete their studies. I'm so proud of all our design graduates, our progressing learners from the CERT in art and design, fashion, communication design, interior design and interior architecture. We look forward to following your future endeavours. Well done.
Congratulations to our final year interior design and final year interior architecture students. You're all talented designers who've shown great dedication, demonstrate a huge ability to adapt and produce some amazing projects at Griffith. It has been a pleasure to witness the passion exhibited by all of you for your design work. We wish you every success and the best of luck on your future ventures. Also, a big thank you to all our design lecturers for your dedication and hard work.
A huge congratulations to our exceptional fashion design graduates. You are talented designers with strong creative design, technology and business skills. Well done. Through your determination and passion, you have created unique collections. And a rather big thank you to our fantastic design lecturers who equally showed great determination as they found new ways to work through these extraordinary times. We are so proud of you all. Congratulations.
The Graduate Photography Exhibition proudly showcases the work of 12 emerging photographers. We celebrate their creativity and invite you to enjoy their diverse explorations of photography as a visual medium. This year, we present the work both online and in a limited edition box set, an exhibition in a box, if you will. The box set includes one beautifully produced scene by each photographer. This incredible group have worked hard under an ever-changing learning landscape and have demonstrated flexibility and ambition. From all of your tutors in the photography department, we are immensely proud of this strong and beautiful showcase. Well done. We hope you all enjoy the show.
On behalf of the entire team in the Film and TV department, I'd like to congratulate the class of 2021 on the exceptional work they've created. As a group, you've proven yourselves to be adaptable, creative, curious, resilient and extremely talented. To each of you, I'd like to personally congratulate you on not letting the pandemic define you or your work. Collectively, you've supported each other, collaborated on projects and through sheer determination and tenacity, accomplished your goals together. I'd also like to applaud all of our dedicated lecturers for their hard work. Without them, our students wouldn't be where they are today. To each of our emerging filmmakers, congratulations to you all. You did it. Well done.
This collection is inspired by ancient heritage sites around Ireland. I was drawn towards the imperfections in the buildings, and this has inspired unique embroidery that shows that distressed and torn textures can be a thing of beauty. The colour story of dark stormy blues and moody ink tones comes from the rocks and dereliction of Ireland's past. This collection comprises of a range of tailored pieces that embrace sustainability and vernacular design.
Release Day is a collection inspired by my father's career as a psychiatric nurse in St Finian's Hospital, Killarney. The designs are inspired by traditional nurses' uniforms and the staff JA team kit. The colour scheme is green, navy and ivory, inspired by the natural surroundings of the hospital grounds. The collection sources wool locally from Kerry Woolen Mills. The aim of the collection is to open conversation about mental health in Ireland. There Was a Time is inspired by women, and it's also inspired by old Catholic Ireland. The Catholic Church, which had a huge impact on people's lives back then. Women were expected to act a certain way and they didn't have equal rights, and male authority had a huge impact on this. The feminine silhouettes of the collection were inspired by traditional Catholic events, using wool and linen fabrics and creating felting fabrications.
Russian politics and architecture alongside the feminist movement were the inspiration for this women's wear collection called Hands Off. The Kremlin dome and anti-feminism propaganda formed an integral part of the design concept. Through exploring these ideas, the designs were developed to create a collection that empowered women through form-fitting silhouettes and powerful dome shapes, contrasted with beautiful pleated ruffle details to embrace femininity.
Splash Spring Summer 2021 is a collection inspired by my love for painting and art. I designed the collection while thinking about memories of me and my granddad, surrounded by paintbrushes and palettes, enjoying a mutual appreciation of creativity and colour. I created the garments with an active and any occasion attitude in mind that allows the customer the ability to wear them morning, noon and night.
My graduate collection, 28 meters square, is the transformable ready-to-wear collection for both men and women, with multiple functions to turn performance day wear into usable camping gear and equipment. The inspiration comes from the minimal living philosophy of the tiny house movement. From there, I designed a dress that turns into a tent, for example, or a long vest that inflates as a mattress. So everyday clothes that you can actually live in.
Distract is a Spring-Summer 2022 women's collection, consisting primarily of soft cotton fabrics to mirror the soft femininity the collection represents. The concept originates from dyspraxia and takes inspiration from the 1964 movie Paris When It Sizzles, as instigating a conversation surrounding dyspraxia can be as easy as speaking about a favourite film. The collection's aim is for the wearer to be comfortable in themselves through fashion, in order to be their unique selves.
Exit Here is a menswear ready-to-wear collection inspired by the quote, "There's a light at the end of the tunnel," in relation to mental health and suicide. The collection should inspire people to get outdoors, therefore is inspired by outdoor activities such as motocross. The collection uses a variety of performance and shelter fabrics to enhance this. Exit Here's continuous goal is to raise awareness and in time reduce suicide rates through our positive, functional and protective clothes.
The inspiration for this collection came from the love of design and creativity shared by 3 generations of women in my family. I was inspired to create a collection that not only celebrates the art of sewing through design details, but empowers women through silhouette and print. This collection can continue to empower generations by being passed on just as my grandmother's skills have been passed on to me.
Where Do I Belong is a summer streetwear collection inspired by the ideals of social and gender norms. This collection is gender fluid, fighting patriarchy and gender injustice through radical prints and controversial inspirations. We have developed advanced technology, but many still lack basic human rights, and as a society we need a lot of political and social change. The fabrics and dyes used in my collection are organic, vegan and sustainable.
As a producer and the writer and director of Blue Journey, I developed the film to be a piece of contemplation reflecting on domestic violence. The idea came during the lockdown. I constantly reading news articles that the number of assaults in the home had increased drastically. My goal is to bring to life films as a way to investigate society's issues and give them a place of importance.
As the cinematographer of Gallardo, I felt that the script lent itself to a really distinctive visual style and had so many opportunities for me to push my own abilities. I wanted the cinematography to reflect the narrative tension in the lighting and framing. Gallardo was ambitious and challenging, practically and conceptually, so I hope that the cinematography reflects that. This project has built my confidence and broadened my interest in cinematography outside of genres and projects I would have ever imagined working in.
As a director of Libra, my goal was to discuss body image issues within the queer community and artistically portray those vulnerabilities. Libra is a celebration of the experiences a queer body can go through, both positive and negative. As a filmmaker, my passion is ignited by creating and documenting meaningful stories. And I hope to carry on directing and producing more stories like this that touch people's hearts.
Editing Libra pushed me creatively as a filmmaker to create a structure that contained a gradual build of pace and rhythm with music inspirations. Being influenced by experimental film and having a subject matter that is open-minded promoted me to enhance the narrative visually. Having this platform allows me to help people tell their stories that are yet to be told in such a way. Directing shares a connection with editing that I will most definitely aspire to unite.
As the director of Undertide, I showcase my passion for screenwriting and directing. With this project, I want to explore the reality of a struggling young adult through film. My goal was to create something that can resonate with the audience, particularly with the people who are going through similar situations. I enjoy the process of transforming word on paper to an actual film on screen.
Being a part of Tell My Heart as a sound designer was an amazing experience, as it gave me the opportunity to be able to create a world and tone with unique characters and emotions through sound. I found that this heartfelt comedy, with its hints of darkness, very appealing. I would love to create similar movies in the future and potentially then move on to some horror then after.
What excited me the most while doing cinematography for I Exist Because You're Here was that I could see all the visuals in my mind the moment I read the script. Filming for this project enabled me to explore my creativity as well as the more technical aspects of cinematography. Being able to bring all the images in my head to life and create beautiful shots solidified my decision to continue my life, transforming words on paper into a visual medium understood by all.
I'm a passionate emerging director and cinematographer, always looking to improve my skills by creating exciting visual stories. Being the cinematographer for Undertide was a fantastic opportunity to put into practice my visual narrative style, and I'm very happy with the end result. I believe this is the beginning of bigger projects in the future.
I'm the writer and director of I Exist Because You're Here. I'm mostly inspired by people and the absurdity and simplicity of being human, and the brutal flow of emotions within. I guess that's what I want to achieve with my work, make people feel something. I believe in the power of transformation that cinema has. It's about being constantly fed by the process, constantly learning and exploring the connections between what I see, hear, and read. My main interests are directing, screenwriting, and cinematography.
Writing this year, I wanted to venture out of my comfort zone by creating an exciting coming-of-age adventure that sourced elements from Southeast Asian culture, my culture. The most inspiring thing to me is when one writes and creates work that truly represents the heart of a culture. And it's a struggle, but it's something I've grown to love and plan to keep growing towards achieving.
When the opportunity came to edit Gallardo, I knew that this was the challenge I wanted for my final year. Because of all the personality and passion involved in the project, everything needed to be proven. Having to edit thinking X plus Y equals Z before inserting a cut, but also needing to feel the pace and be engrossed in the tone. It was a test of patience, but it was really fun. This is my future, piecing fragments of a vision and bringing it to life in a DCP.
I wrote and directed For My Heart, a comedy drama which focused on the themes of isolation, companionship, and personal growth. I've always had a love for film, particularly in the areas of compelling storytelling and cinematography. The script was inspired by my own struggles during the lockdown. The film is unique because it blends comedy into the bleak setting of a world gripped by a pandemic.
Film has always been my passion. Whether fiction or doc, the creative process, specifically directing, fills me with a true sense of purpose. Storytelling has been paramount to society from the dawn of existence, and the ability to pick up and carry this torch should be a true honor to all who have the opportunity.
As a cinematographer of Blue Journey, I thought the story was interesting and liked the idea of telling a narrative from the perspective of a man whose perception of the world is skewed. Not everything he sees is reality, giving us an opportunity to create some interesting visuals as his delusions begin to cave in on themselves and reality begins to sink in.
I'm the writer and director of Gallardo, a transcendental pulp war movie inspired by The Raymond the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. My purpose with Gallardo was to intertwine a war movie and a cigarette TV commercial. For this, I combined different aspect ratios in both color and black and white, staying true to Joyce's precept that style and substance should be synonymous. I strongly believe in the ecumenical value of cinema, and that's what I want to exploit in the future.
I am the producer for I Exist Because You Are Here. It is about an elderly man who has to deal with the loss of his wife and also a pandemic as well. This story is about struggle and loneliness. What drew me to this story was the romance of it and how the main character had to deal with losing his love. The kind of films that I'm interested in making are romance and coming-of-age films. In the future, I'd like to produce more films about romance and how people deal with true love in films.
Proposed project is a healthcare centre for cancer patients. The centre will act as a layover for those who are in between therapy sessions, as the current hospitals are not designed for long healing recovery. Cancer patients in hospitals are more likely to get bored, feel isolated, lose touch with the world, and this will negatively impact their mental well-being and delay recovery. The proposed design will promote positive environment by reconnecting patients with nature, using biophilia, and encourage social interaction.
I was tasked with the redevelopment of IBA building in Temple Bar to become Dublin City's new community and children's centre. It was important as part of Dublin's commitment to community and the environment that we incorporated the use of green technologies and a reimagined new spatial layout. Pastel colors inject life into the new spaces, and the rooftop swimming pool offers the users beautiful vistas across the city.
There are many challenges to face when designing a space for children with autism. That's why it was key to have enough research on how to design an educational center for children with autism and what elements need to be taken into consideration. It was also necessary to choose a concept that would reflect on the spatial planning, choice of materials, and color scheme of the design, which is why I chose water movements. What makes my design unique is the spatial configuration.
Connect Homeless Shelter has been created to tackle both Ireland's homeless crisis as well as environmental design. With the concept of pendulums, the design includes suspended fiberglass pods for accommodation, volunteer workshops to help create a new income, and social and cafe areas for integration within society. The main focus is on social responsibility as well as biodiversity and the incorporation of nature.
My final year thesis project is the Slice Agricultural Educational Centre for Displaced Individuals. My goals were to bring displaced individuals back into the workforce with agricultural practices. This project is the culmination of my thesis research and my design development over the last 4 years here at Griffith College. This project combines contemporary and botanical interiors for a unique building experience.
Residential and community centre are located at Jigginstown House in Ace County Kildare. My inspiration arose from visiting family members in nursing homes and experiencing how institutionalised nursing homes are. My family members didn't have any serious health problems and would have been able to live independently. For my bachelor's degree, I wanted to tackle the problem of the lack of independent living communities for the elderly in Ireland. My design is focused on creating a space that is vibrant and inviting, a space where you will be proud to call home, a space where all residents and surrounding communities can integrate and enjoy the use of Jigginstown House Residential and Community Centre.
The general objective of this project is to develop an architectural proposal for the cultural design of a community centre, where the inhabitants of Dublin will find a place for socialization, expressing and educating themselves. The aim was based on the definition and functional characterization of a cultural center as a complementary urban facility, complementary to schools and parks, in order to facilitate the development of the community activities.
Barion is a multifunctional community center. It withstands the existing materials such as concrete and wood timber. The concept is to strengthen the relationship between the elderly and the young based on the residential location of the building. The sustainable design includes the construction of skylight window to allow more natural light to enter, the use of wind direction to maximize the passive ventilation system, and the use of indoor plants to purify the air.
A massive problem in Ireland today is the lack of consideration in terms of interior design standards of psychiatric facilities. This issue cultivated my design to address and resolve this problem. Therefore, my project, Cheeverstown House, is a readaptation and reuse of an existing building in Templeogue, Dublin. My design is focusing on reducing stress, aggression, and overstimulation of the patients with a calming and therapeutic atmosphere achieved by the use of natural elements, tones, and aesthetics. Overall, my design goal is to improve recovery rates.
My concept for the chocolate factory is fluidity, the idea of movement in all of its forms, not just air or liquid, but life itself. The idea that whether you're working or socializing, you should be free to move without obstruction or the feeling of being hindered. I wanted to be true to the structure and its history, so the palette I chose was neutral, the materials, metal and stone. My vision? Bring meaning to the old adage, real beauty is on the inside.
The Chocolate Factory is a co-working space redesigned for a society of designers. With this building, I want to improve the interior, and my central focus will be on the atmosphere and the accessibility. To achieve this, I decided to build relaxed and flexible spaces, and all the material will be selected following the environmental principle. My concept is Color Delight, choosing Color Delight as a concept because there is more than one artisan and it represents the office collaboration. For the ambience of the building, I wish to create natural feelings that come from plants, wood, and use natural light.
The Chocolate Factory is a co-working space redesigned for a community of designers. We should develop an interior design, and the main focus will be environment and accessibility. To achieve this, I choose to create comfortable and flexible spaces. All the materials will be selected following the environment principles. My concept is roots because it represents union, community, and growth. For my mood, I wish to create a second home feeling.
26 Kings Inn Street is a unique site with a long-standing history. To continue this history, I aim to create a space which will be used as a hub by a community of multidisciplinary designers. Starting this project, I immediately felt drawn to the concept of synergy. To achieve this concept, I'll be using a harmonious palette of materials and colour schemes throughout. I am proposing a refurbishment with the objective of creating a culture of collaboration.
Our client is a community of different designers and artists that wish to work together in a creative environment. The concept is inspired by different round forms and straight lines. The keyword for the concept is playfulness. However, the design through the building is a lot of round forms in the furnitures, and a lot of straight wooden arrows, and a mix of light and dark colors to make it more playful.
My space at 26 Kings Inn Street will ensure to galvanise those creating and visiting within. Following my concept diffusion, the environment will encourage a highly flexible place which will evolve and develop with each stride. Whilst the 6 stories will cater for a multitude of people, the overall focal point of the building will aim to create a harmonious, healthy working environment. I have implemented a strategic approach with use of materials and space planning so that the building can breathe with its own set of lungs in the greenest possible way.
My concept is color. I'll be focusing on primary color. It's inspired by the professions of the client, which is made out of different designers. They are like primary colors, which is unique and have their own strengths and expertise in their field. When they work together, they will create multi-disciplines, harmonies, and synergistic end product like rainbow. Different colors have different meanings. If you apply colors depending on the function of the space correctly, the occupant will be able to conduct their activities more naturally.
The brief is requesting for a solution in creating a multifunctional collaborative office space for creatives. The concept I have chosen, I titled Unity in an Optical Illusion. I have used optical illusions to create hallways, lighting features. I experimented with 3D and formed holograms throughout the building. The mood itself is very much inspired by contemporary design and simplicity with minimal decor so that it is ergonomically friendly and comfortable to work in. Strong words to identify the project are contemporary, sleek, comfortable, and flexible. The Chocolate Factory office space welcomes its creative staff but is open to the public also.
The Chocolate Factory is an old and dark concrete building that used to produce sweets and jams. It's located on Kingston Street in Dublin 1. The brief is to redesign the building interiors to create collaborative office spaces, as well as some public areas such as an event space and a tap room. My aim is to design a healthy indoor environment to promote creativity and well-being by letting more light and air into the building using natural materials and living plants.
Threads, as the concept, is to celebrate the craft of weaving, tweeds and wool that Donegal is famous for. It links the history of Sweeney's Hotel since 1880 to their origin of being drapers. This inspired a Donegal landscape colour palette using soft and elegant textures to complement the Victorian building and the freedom to design a luxury boutique hotel, creating an ambience that makes the guest want to return again and again.
For this project, I have explored the reuse of an existing building by turning an old chocolate factory into a multidisciplinary office space for a community of different designers. My concept is inspired by the internal shapes, colours and textures of a beehive, as well as its connection to nature and the symbolism of a hard-working, cohesive unit. The new space planning focuses on open yet intimate spaces with a light and happy atmosphere which inspires creativity in all shapes and forms.
I have designed the Chocolate Factory project within the principles of biophilia and biophilic design. I have chosen rather extraordinary concept and called it reclaim. The meaning of my concept is to bring nature back to urban areas whilst bringing people back to nature. Biophilia is a deep-seated need of humans to connect with nature, and biophilic design is the tool to do so. At the same time, I'm strictly focusing on sustainability, as I believe that it is designers' mission to turn things around and create a better future for many generations to come.
The brief for this assignment is to design a multidisciplinary collaborative office space for a group of creatives ranging from artists to other small enterprises. I chose nature as my concept as it connects us to one another. Preferred scenes are dominated by natural elements, sustainability and natural resources, and also provide health benefits. My colour palette is neutral with pops of colour, as the neutral tones will provide visual relief and a calming atmosphere, and the pops of colour will add a fun, happy element.
For this project, I'm designing a workspace for a collective of creatives. I believe it needs to be bright and reviving to inspire the people in the building. With this in mind, I came up with my concept Oasis, which will be applied by using playful colours and organic shapes throughout the space, with flexible zones that will create opportunities for people to choose their own ideal workspace, whether that is in a lively collaborative open plan or a quiet corner for maximum concentration.
I'll be redesigning the Chocolate Factory. The building will occupy a group of collective designers through the multi-storey build. I will demonstrate my concept energy through my space planning, accompanied by the 5 elements of design inspired by Feng Shui, wood, metal, fire, water, and earthly finishes, creating a sense of growth, stability, and creativity through the use of aesthetics.
The concept for this project is stones. The stones are probably the natural material that is more related to humans. Bespoke features like the glass bookshelves are a good example of the contrast between old and new. The courtyard with a glass retractable structure leads to the wedding venue that also gives place to a signature restaurant and a convention room. The bedrooms are named after the 18 islands of Donegal, and each room have the color scheme of the respective island.
As an interior design student, I was challenged to redesign a multidisciplinary use space for the Chocolate Factory located in Dublin City. By harmonizing my design with nature and social responsibility, it forms my concept Monument to Environment. Using fibers and furniture made from natural materials, with a strong emphasis in the use of wood and solid earth tones, will enliven the interior, creating an inspiring, refreshing, and enjoyable work environment.
My concept for this project is black ice. The materials I'm going to be using include lacquered wood, steel, concrete, and glass. For my sustainability design, I'm going to be punching a hole from the first floor to the ground floor to allow the circulation of air throughout the whole building. I'm going to be transforming the working space into a cool, relaxed, collaborative experience for all various jobs in my chocolate factory. And my color panel is going to be black, white, grey, and matte finishes throughout the whole building.
We as common people often go to work, each day 30% of our lives in fact. With this in mind, it's paramount that we can do this healthily and happily. It's hard to imagine anything that promotes this more than a walk in the park. To emulate this experience, I have designed 26 King's Inn Street using organic forms and natural materials, while simultaneously incorporating the many senses associated with a walk in the park.
My design for the chocolate factory involves bringing the wonderful and contemporary together to create a beautiful environment you want to work in. My concept is Wonderland, and takes inspiration from books and movies such as Alice in Wonderland and other memorable fairy tales. This concept can be seen with natural tones and materials as the palette of choice. Sustainability was also a leading factor in the material choice and has been considered for each floor. Universal design is integrated with flexible spaces to make working in a world with COVID more comfortable and possible.
In this office project, my major inspiration and idea came from COVID pandemic. I chose productivity as my concept because it motivates people back to office. In this office, I describe as a playground and also a small living area. This building main client is individual worker. They need a working space that clean, quiet, convenient, and high technology. Also, working with safety is important now. My slogan is work safe and play safe.
This project reflects on human connections to nature and the relationship to outdoor spaces. People are seen cutting through the landscape in ways at odds with the spaces they inhabit. As these figures move, harmony is replaced by a sense of disconnect, and individuals appear strangely out of place.
Rituals is a derivative from a personal experience and a deep-rooted connection to the sea. From morning swimmers to evening dippers, this work records a unique ceremony. In this work, a community of swimmers are bound together in mutual agreement of the sea as a powerful catalyst for healing and restoration.
This body of work seeks to represent the isolation and loneliness I felt throughout the COVID lockdown restrictions. Whilst walking around my local area, I was questioning my surroundings and my own human experience. Reconnecting with nature helped to increase my self-esteem and provided me with much needed optimism in this current challenging times.
I've always been attracted to sensitive and vulnerable men, not the rugged and macho type. I wanted to portray the gentle side of men and enable the viewers to recognize the vulnerability of the men in their own lives. As I finalized this project, cherry blossoms were beginning to bloom, and they reminded me of the delicate, fleeting beauty of these men.
The starting point of the series was based on my journey from São Paulo, Brazil to Dublin, Ireland. As the project evolved, it has become less about myself and more about the experience of being an outsider.
There's a mysterious coastal site named Ardladran in Wexford. According to Irish mythology, it is where Ladra, the first dead man to be buried under Irish soil, lies. This is a universal story which questions mortality and the mystery a landscape can retain. Working intuitively, I sought to unearth the deeper existence and soul of this land, its people past and present.
My name is Madison Donahue,
and my photography project is titled Rewilding the Feminine. My project is about the wild woman archetype and women's soul connection to nature. I explored these concepts through the use of landscape and performative photography.
The immense physical, not to mention mental benefits of playing any sport from early childhood is well documented. The abrupt end to all sporting activity since March 2020 has been damaging for so many of those involved in the GAA setup. This work looks at the challenges faced by Jack Cullinan and tries to capture how overwhelming it's been for him and his teammates.
My project, My Jewel and Darling Dublin, is based on observations I make during my daily experience of travelling around Dublin. I see artistic beauty in the everyday things that are regularly missed. I want to show the convergence between the old and the new and how nature can survive in neglected buildings, creating something new and beautiful.
I began shooting this body of work as a way to examine the feelings of unease I have towards my childhood home, a place I have been raised for the majority of my life. In recent years, everything here feels much smaller, and familiar spaces no longer exhibit the same kind of home comforts from earlier years.
I wanted to unlearn deeply embedded ideologies planted at such an early developmental stage in my life. The photographs function as a vehicle for me to explore these ideas of internalized homophobia on a personal, yes, universal level. Photography was the chosen medium of communication, as I found this sense of shame difficult to articulate.
In Vietnamese, the word duyên is used casually in everyday conversation as an affirmation or compliment. Its true authentic meaning is often overlooked, but literally translated it means tied by fate. When I think of my journey that led me to making this work, a lesson or appreciation of my own heritage, I am reminded simply of the word duyên.